Hey, how's it going, everybody? Just want to put together a quick video for you today while we got a break in the weather. We've had some good rains come in to the area once again. I was out here earlier getting some work done and had to cut it short because it was really coming down, but we got another break, so wanted to cover a topic I've spoke on many times on this channel, and it's pertaining to creating a nice robust canopy, nice scaffolding on your newly planted fruit trees. Hopefully a lot of you out there have picked up some bare root fruit trees this year. Maybe you already got them in the ground, depending on where you're at. Maybe you have yet to actually get them in your hands, or maybe you ordered some online. But as you can see, like with this apium tree, we've got some really nice structure, a lot of fruiting wood this year. I'm really happy with the way this tree, as well as all the other trees, are turning out with the pruning style that I chose to go with, which was open center, vase shape, versus going with a central leader where you just let it grow straight up. A lot of folks are kind of intimidated by pruning back, lopping off the tree when they first get it in the ground. But I'm actually extremely happy with the way things are turning out here, especially if you got dwarf, semi-dwarf fruit trees. You want to keep them lower level. The open center vase shape is a great way to go. Now there are some varieties such as pears and apples, persimmons, which a lot of folks would prefer to do a central leader where you just let it grow straight up the middle. Even with some of those trees, I've done the vase shape open center, so you can do your research on it. Here, I'll show you another example where this is working out really well. And this is actually a 2-in-1 planting. We've got the Santa Rosa plum and a pluot variety, and you can see these trees are about a foot and a half apart from each other. And actually this has been one of my most productive 2-in-1 plantings. I think plums are a great way to go if you want to try this 2-in-1 technique out. Plums, plumcots, pluots, they can help to cross-pollinate each other, get a heavier fruit set, conserve on space. But both these trees, as you can see, this tree's got 3 scaffoldings, and that's generally the rule, is you want 3 scaffoldings. In some cases I have 4. Just depends on where those sprouts emerged, whether I wanted to keep 4 or leave 3. But in the case of all these trees, when I initially got them, they were 6 to 8 feet tall. And once I put them in the ground, I lopped them off at knee level. I'll show you an example of a newly planted tree where I've done this. And actually, I lopped this one off at the nursery because I had my sedan and I needed to get it in the car. And it was funny the look they gave me when I asked them to chop it at this level for me. But if we look closely here, hopefully this will come out. You can see we've got some new growth starting to emerge. So what I'll be doing is I'll be keeping 3 or 4 of these sprouts, and that's going to eventually become the scaffolding and the canopy of the tree. The rest of the stuff that's growing below that level, I'm going to nip that off, and by the end of this year we should have growth about a foot and a half from this main trunk of the tree here. But the canopy is going to start nice and low, and we're going to have that open center shape. So this is actually a Candy Heart Pluary by Dave Wilson Nursery. And in the case of this particular tree, all that growth that I'd cut back was already starting to bud out. And you really want to get this done while the tree is dormant. You don't want to wait till it starts leafing out and flowering to do a pruning like this. So in some cases this may be a little late with the information, but I know a lot of you folks are still under snow and such, so this could be helpful to some. And FYI, there are certain varieties of fruit tree I'd recommend never doing this to, such as citrus, avocado, pineapple, guava, strawberry tree, jujube tree, persimmons, pomegranates. Mostly the trees that grow more like a shrub, if you don't prune them into a tree, would be one way to tell. But you can definitely do some more research on this. But stone fruits and even apples and pears, this can work really well. But the trees here are doing great. A lot of them waking up. And as long as I'm out here, I wanted to take a moment to answer a question that somebody had on the previous video. I had mentioned that I had cleaned up a bunch of Bermuda grass along the fence line, and they were wondering how I went about doing that. Well, there's a lot of Bermuda grass growing on the other side of this fence, and it was creeping under the fence. So what I actually did in this area was I did get down here with my hori and I pulled a bunch of it out. I wasn't too concerned about getting 100% of it out because, believe it or not, the cardboard sheet mulch will eliminate the majority of the Bermuda grass. And if it does poke back up in the future, it's a lot easier to pull out because it'll be starting to grow into some of that loose wood chip breakdown. So, but in my experience, a lot of it will just actually die back. But as you can see what I did here, once I cleared the area and I kind of brought it down with my flathead shovel here. So I brought it down so it was well below the fence line, and then I kind of jammed that shovel under the fence, tried to push back any of the roots that I was unable to really get to. And then I put down my cardboard, but I lapped it up on the fence. So that way there's not going to be any sunlight or any free exposure for that Bermuda grass to crawl back through. Now, in a few months' time, what's going to end up happening is that cardboard is going to start to rot and it's going to go away, but it should do a good job creating that barrier to stop that Bermuda grass from coming through. And although it looks like it's a bit high on the fence right now, what I'll end up doing later in the season is just using my rake and just kind of pulling it back from the base of the fence. So that's the technique. This area was just covered with the Bermuda grass coming through. You can see over here where I did the same thing, and then I actually put some bricks just to help secure it all and create a nice strong barrier. The cardboard is overlapped. So, cardboard and wood chips are my defense mechanism against the Bermuda grass coming through. Anyway, guys, that's the video for today. Hope everyone's able to find some time to get out in the garden, try to get at least one thing done per day to get you towards your gardening goals for the 2019 growing season. If you're unable to get outside, maybe you can get some seeds started, get some plants on order. There's always something you could do, some planning, sketching out of your design. Hugelkulturs are still resting. We've got all those natural pots formed now in the mound, backfilled with a bit of the worm castings. Also, you can see a lot of the purple tree collards here are popping up in random areas. I had mentioned this when I did my chop and drop. It's just poking back up. That's why I'm not too concerned about that vicious method that I used to cut down all these plants. There, we got a little hummingbird sitting atop the wisteria there. And I think I'll leave you with a little bit of footage that I captured of the chickens earlier today when I was out here getting some work done. All right, everyone, that's it for now. Have yourself a great rest of your weekend. I'll be talking to you again soon. Take care.